The Eagles finally got back in the W column, but a lot of people are debating whether this team can actually win a playoff game. And I think there's a deeper issue that is not being talked about enough. What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into A to Z Philly. Do me a favor, drop a like on this video if you enjoy this coverage. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Today, we are back after the Eagles got a W on Christmas Day. Hope everybody had a happy holiday. But let's be honest, it was a dogfight. They were scratching out for another win, and they had to muscle through, and it got nerve-wracking down the end. And a lot of people are sitting on both sides of the spectrum. Some are saying just be happy for the win. Others are saying this team has no shot. It was a crazy weekend in the NFL yet again. It's been a wild season. And today we're just going to talk about where this team stands. I think there is a deeper issue that lies. Nobody is talking about it. And I want to gauge the thoughts from the people out there. So give me your thoughts down below. I would love to hear you chime in. Do the Eagles actually have a shot? Can they go into a hostile playoff environment and win a big game? Can they do that? Or do you think this team stands no shot? Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. And before we jump into all of it, let me tell you about BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. All right, let's jump into it. So a lot of talk, man. The Eagles, fight one out to the death of it against the New York Giants. And at one point they were up 17. The Giants come back and make it a 2-point game. Eagles had a huge play on a 3rd and 20. And we'll get into that in a little while. But let's just talk about what this Eagles team has, right? This Eagles team has A.J. Brown, who currently almost has 1,400 yards with 2 games left. If he gets 103 more yards, he's going to break the Eagles record, which he set last year in the first year with the team. And he's just an absolute stud. And then you have Devontae Smith, right? And AJ, by the way, has 15 receptions more to go to set the single season record. So another record he could possibly break. But then you have Devontae Smith, who now is over 1,000 yards again. So you have 2 1,000-yard receivers on this team. Keep in mind, you also have, from a talent perspective, probably a top 5 tight end in the NFL in Dallas Goedert. Then you have DeAndre Swift, who in this game, in my opinion, was the MVP. Let's look at DeAndre Swift. 20 carries, 92 yards, had a touchdown, helped extend the drive, and helped run the clock off at the end of the game. Kenny Gainwell had 40 yards contributing to the run game. You have all these damn weapons, and yet you could barely beat the Giants. You see what I mean? And I have an issue with people out there who are mad at people calling out what they see, right? A lot of people are hating on those who say, well, the Eagles just don't look like they can stand a playoff matchup right now just because they won, just because they got back in the W column. And that is one of the main issues, right? Nick Sirianni's shown it as well. Here's Nick Sirianni during the game, right? He got in a little, I'd say not argument, but just like a little confrontation on the sideline with Devontae Smith. And then later in this game, he got into one with Hassan Reddick. Reddick was yelling over to the sideline and guys were frustrated. Now, trust me, I'm not the guy to sit up here and say, oh, well, this is such a huge issue and let's blow it out of proportion. We saw what happened in week 2, right? A.J. Brown was mad with Jalen Hurts. They sorted it out. Maybe their relationship still isn't the best right now, but they definitely made progress and, well, they're putting up the numbers. So that's all that matters, right? I'm not going to sit here and blow this out of proportion. But my issue lies with the fact that maybe this team is a little too overconfident. Maybe Nick Sirianni is a little bit too much to the point where he's just playing a character and not really breaking it down to the fundamentals of coaching. After this game, Nick Sirianni had a quote and said, well, we're just having fun when we're winning. Sure, that is great. But let's be honest, this team could be in for a reality check if they continue to make the brutal mistakes that they are making, right? So I don't like that expression. I don't like that mindset. I wish Nick would come out and say, we got to get better every week. We're just going to be playing as hard as we can. We want to get back to the point we were at last year. Like, that is what needs to be drilled into this team. I don't know if they get it. And there's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, well, if the Eagles didn't make two brutal mistakes, if Dallas Goedert didn't slip on a banana peel on a route, and Boston Scott didn't run into his own guy, this would be a 30-point win. First off, yeah, you should have beat this Giants team by 40 because they absolutely suck. They stink. And second off, I don't want to hear that. You could say that about any game. Oh, well, back in week 7, if this play didn't happen, it would be a 2-possession game. The fact of the matter is really good teams don't do that kind of crap, right? Boston Scott runs into his own guy on a kick return to start the half. That can't happen. Dallas Goedert slipped. Oh, well, good teams don't do that. If they do that in the NFC Championship game, are we going to say, oh, well, if only Dallas Goedert didn't slip on the 5-yard line, this team would have went to the Super Bowl? We're not going to say that. You have to clean up the mistakes, and I just need to see more of that accountability factor. So that, to me, is one of the deeper issues that lies. But the second one, and people are probably going to be mad at it, is Jalen Hurts. Now, this right here is the epitome of why people love Jalen Hurts, right? He can improvise, and he can make some of these throws that not a lot of other quarterbacks are making. But I'm sorry, you have to call out what you see, and Jalen Hurts just has not been as good as last year. And mainly for me, I don't really care about the numbers. It's more of the situational football, right? Fumbling in big moments or turning it over in a big possession, right? That interception, which, ended up cutting it down so close. And if it wasn't for this play right here, who knows what would have happened, right? It was 3rd and 20. You're ready to give the ball back up again. I'm not going to play the play here, but Jalen Hurts made one of the best throws I've seen him make. And he can make these type of plays. But when guys are playing bad, you have to say you can't lead yourself into delusion. And Jalen Hurts has, turned it over, 7 more times than he did last year already? Jalen Hurts has more interceptions. He has more fumbles. And that's just not going to cut it. He's got 13 interceptions and he has 6 fumbles. So he's turned it over 19 times. And you just can't do that, especially in a playoff game. You know how one turn of the momentum can completely flip the script of a game. You look at this game from Monday, Jalen Hurts, the numbers look pretty good. The Eagles' numbers look good. They had almost 500 yards of offense. They should have won this game by 1,000,000. But the fact of the matter is the bad turnovers, especially at the worst times, just cannot happen. They were great on 3rd down. All the numbers lead you to believe that this team should have won by a lot. I think they found, again, the formula, running the football. And I know it's cliche at this point and people don't want to hear it. Well, you need to hear it. And again, I put more blame on the coaching staff than anybody. The coaches need to run the ball more. You look at the balance here. They threw it 38 times. They ran it 35. Swift helped you gain some of those explosive yards and put you in better situations. That's why you were more successful, for example, on 3rd down. And you have to continue to run with that formula. But when the game is on the line, or when you need a big play, or when you need this, you are looking at your guy, the guy you paid to be the highest paid player in the NFL at the time, the guy who was supposed to be your franchise quarterback, who's supposed to learn from these moments last year. And some of the decision-making from Jalen Hurts has just been absolutely awful. He's holding onto the ball way too long. And I don't know if it's just a mixture of coaching or maybe his natural regression, not really being able to live up to how great he was last year, but he's got to be better in these situations. And yes, I'm going to say that. I'm not, trying to speak down on him for saying that stuff, right? For example, Patrick Mahomes has been absolutely terrible the last couple weeks. He's still one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch a football, but you have to call out what you see, because if that continues going on, you're not leading yourself to success. Jalen Hurts had a play before halftime where he tried to scramble instead of just walking out of bounds. And, luckily the Giants had a delay of game and it benefited the Eagles. But if that was a playoff game and you miss out on 3 points, who knows what happens from then on, right? So people that are calling this stuff out are just concerned. And I think the main thing is that there's such a hole right now in the NFL. You look at what happened to the Niners against the Ravens, and you look at all these other teams, and there's such an opportunity. There's such a huge, huge opportunity for this team to be successful and to go on another big run. And if they can, I'm not saying just be the favorite and, it's a guarantee they're going to win a Super Bowl, but just show us more than you're giving right now, right? If you can get back to that flow. What'd you do in 2018, right? Obviously a different situation, but your quarterback, your franchise quarterback got hurt and you revamped the offense. You put more creativity and you designed it for this offense and the weapons to be successful. And you saw what happened and you got a little glimpse of that in this game with the DeAndre Swift game and Kenny Gainwell, etc. Like, you just have to rely on what works. And this coaching staff needs to put this team in a better position to succeed and not be as cocky and not be as, just over the top and not holding these guys accountable. They need to really boil down here and figure it out because they have 2 more easy games. This is the time. It's like going up against practice dummies, right? This is the time to figure it out. And you have to do that before you're in a playoff situation because this team has high hopes and expectations, and it's sitting right here in front of you. Nick Sirianni today about Jonathan Gannon said, I want him to feel so freaking uncomfortable. It is going to be loud and rowdy. You know how the Eagles fan base feels about John Gannon, especially after the comments he made in the offseason. And this is a perfect game to get back on track and to go out there and dominate and win by 30. So hopefully they can finally put it together. We'll see how they come out and approach this game. But with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Give me all your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Do you think this team can succeed in the playoffs? Give me all your thoughts. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.